I have to say, every time Ryan and you and I went in expecting pushback, we got support from Kevin, from everyone at Disney. They kind of have trusted us and allowed us to do the version of Deadpool and Wolverine that we feel is best.
Did you know Deadpool and Wolverine almost had a totally different adventure before Disney bought 20th Century Fox? Karen Sony, one of the actors from the Deadpool movies, spilled the beans. People are really excited about Deadpool and Wolverine with all the new Marvel movies coming out in 2024. Ryan Reynolds is back as Wade Wilson, and he's jumping into the Marvel Cinematic Universe at last. This year at SXSW, Screen Rant had a special talk with Sony about his new movie, A Nice Indian Boy. He also spilled a little about coming back as Dopinder in the Deadpool and Wolverine gang. After the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer dropped, Sony admitted that he was totally surprised. He didn't even know what was happening. They're keeping secrets from him, but hey, that's part of the fun. He even spilled some Deadpool 3 plot on his first date with Roshan Sethi, which he wasn't supposed to do.
First date, I recapped the plot of Deadpool 3, which I wasn't supposed to.
This was the Fox version, but it never happened because the studio got sold. But when he first met Roshan, he really wanted to impress him, so he spilled the beans. He even told him that Hugh Jackman was going to be in it, and this was years ago. The good news is, this time, they didn't get a script to accidentally spill. They didn't even warn him about the trailer dropping. He saw it when everyone else did, and he's pumped to be a little piece of it. Screen Rant then asked Sony if he could spill the beans on what the original plan was for the third Deadpool movie. And here's what he said. Yeah, I think it's out there a bit, so sure, I can talk about it. The plan was for a road trip movie where Deadpool tries to save Christmas, and we all head to the North Pole.
Gonna be originally a road trip movie where Deadpool tries to save Christmas.
In the end, Deadpool and Wolverine will really thrive being part of Marvel Studios. The X-Men movies under 20th Century Fox were having a tough time for years, and their cinematic universe was kind of falling apart. That's why Disney buying 20th Century Fox was a big win for Marvel Studios. Now they've got the rights to make X-Men and Fantastic Four movies again, and it means Deadpool and Wolverine could be the first movie in the trilogy. For someone like Reynolds, who's part of Deadpool and Wolverine both in front of and behind the camera, this gives him more freedom to take Wade to new heights. Since Deadpool and Wolverine will be R-rated, they're not just keeping the Deadpool vibe alive, but also adding fresh stuff to play with in the bigger MCU picture. This was one of the best parts of the first Deadpool and Wolverine trailer, and it's probably going to be even bigger and better in the actual movie. What's really cool is to think about what's next for Wade after Deadpool and Wolverine. Reynolds could pop up anywhere in the MCU. There's already so many characters and stories in the mix. Marvel Studios can take Deadpool in tons of different directions, but for now, Reynolds' journey in the MCU starts this summer with Deadpool and Wolverine. A Nice Indian Boy will debut worldwide at SXSW on March 12th. Excitement is building up for the new Deadpool and Wolverine movie, and actor Karen Sony, who played Dopinder in the Deadpool movies, shared some interesting details about the project before Disney bought 20th Century Fox. Here's the interesting part. This version was supposed to have Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, setting up a whole new Marvel story. Sony was caught off guard by the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer. He didn't even know it was coming out until it just popped up, and he remembered the time he accidentally spilled the beans about the scrapped plot of Deadpool 3 during a date. Sony shared a funny story about the whole thing, saying he was just glad he didn't get a script this time. Bringing Deadpool into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or MCU, with Disney could be really exciting for the franchise. Disney buying Fox means Marvel Studios now has control over X-Men and Fantastic Four. That opens up a chance for Deadpool and Wolverine to really shine in a fresh movie world. Now that Deadpool's in the MCU, Ryan Reynolds has more freedom to get creative. He's not just playing Wade Wilson on screen, but also has a big role behind the scenes. Fans are really curious about what's next for Deadpool in the MCU. Ryan Reynolds playing Deadpool means we might see some surprising team-ups and chats with other MCU heroes. It's gonna make the whole franchise even more exciting. Here's something super interesting. In an interview with Screen Rant, Karen Sony, who we all know as Dopinder, spilled some cool beans. Yeah, we think it's out there a bit, so we can talk about it. Basically, it was supposed to be a road trip movie where Deadpool tries to save Christmas. So we all head to the North Pole, and then a bit later on, here's a summary that we think got leaked a while back. While going through a midlife crisis, Wade Wilson decides to call it quits on being Deadpool and becomes a used car salesman. But when his friends, family, and the whole world are in danger, Deadpool decides to dust off his swords and come out of retirement. And here's what happens next. He ropes in an unwilling and somewhat reluctant buddy to not just fight for their lives, but also to protect their legacy in the end. So it's pretty clear that there was always going to be some kind of Deadpool-Wolverine movie. Also, we mean their bromance was meant to happen. They've got such a unique relationship, you know. We don't know if you've seen Deadpool and Wolverine team up in the comics before. It's kind of like a love-hate thing between them, you know. Like, they can't stand each other, but there's a tiny bit of respect there. Deadpool's just so goofy, but we've gotta say, even though this probably won't be the plot of the new movie coming out in July, this could still make a great Christmas movie, don't you think? Like how they did the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. They could do something similar with the Deadpool special. So let's just talk about the story again. It's pretty cool that they chose this plot in the first place. Yeah, they did something like this before with Once Upon a Deadpool, remember? It was a tweaked version of Deadpool 2 that had already been in theaters. The Once Upon a Deadpool version was basically meant to be a family-friendly take on the Deadpool movie. It's funny that Fox wanted to make a whole Christmas-themed movie when they already sort of did something like that before. But it clearly feels that's the idea. If you ask any Deadpool fan, they will say they're all for it. And we bet they'll keep all the comedy and everything. Some folks even think the Deadpool movie might save the MCU. No, that sounds really dramatic, right folks? To be frank, even that is not something anyone is sure of. But we can definitely say that the Deadpool movie will be great. But the MCU might need more than just that to be safe. From what we've heard, there's a bunch of leaked info about the movie, saying it'll be like 2 hours and 49 minutes or 2 hours and 39 minutes long. That's a lot of time to fit in tons of stuff, especially if he's going back in time in the MCU and messing with things. We think this movie's gonna be really awesome, but to save the MCU, they might need more than just this. To feel like the MCU is safe, we need a bunch of great movies. Fans are super excited about the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. Even though it's still a few months away, the ads and sneak peeks are already out. People are analyzing every little detail in the pictures and guessing what might happen in the movie. To make fans even more curious, a new picture from the set is in Empire magazine. It shows Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman in their superhero costumes, looking at a screen with the director. Hugh Jackman looks really excited, just like a fan seeing something new from the movie. Fans have been eagerly waiting for the new Deadpool and Wolverine movie, especially since Hugh Jackman joined the cast. When the first trailer came out, fans went wild with excitement. Director Levy recently talked about the movie, saying they're paying attention to what fans want. He mentioned that while the movie will keep the vibe of the previous ones, it'll also have its own unique story. There have been early screenings and things are looking good. It's not just another Deadpool movie. It's a special one because it includes Wolverine 2. Expect lots of action with an R rating as Deadpool and Wolverine team up. And there will be surprise appearances from other Marvel characters. The cast includes familiar faces like Morena Baccarin, Rob Delaney, Leslie Uggams, and Karen Sony, along with new actors like Matthew McFadden and Emma Corrin. And there are some returning characters like Pyro and Elektra too. But let's switch gears to Deadpool. Check out the next videos where we'll discuss some cool stuff about the Deadpool movies. Do share your thoughts in the comments below. Also, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button before you go. We'll meet you in the next one.